All right, good morning, folks. Today is April 5th, 2024, and this is Coffee with Community Services, Alta California Regional Center's weekly service provider meeting. My name is John Decker, the Director of Community Services here at Alta California Regional Center. As per usual, we will introduce some staff and then we will get into our agenda. So, just real quick, we're going to do a sign of the week. We've got Deaf Culture 101. We're going to talk about our event calendar. We've got information on our DSP stipend. We've got some information about some upcoming conferences. We've got updates on some of our housing activities. We've got a HCBS discussion. And we've got some information from Jordan that she's going to be sharing about the upcoming vendor forums and RFPs out of her unit. Finally, I do see that the department has posted information on their website in the last couple weeks about the service provider directory. And so I'm going to be navigating to that as well and sharing folks the updated information that we have from the Department of Developmental Services on the service provider directory. But we will start off with introductions real quick. So I see from, let's see, from Alta here, who do we have on? We've got Yvette on, and we've got Dan on, and Jessica, good morning. And I see Tom and Jaslyn, good morning, and Jolana. And Chris, good morning as well. And client advocate Reva is on. We'll be meeting Reva a little bit later again today, too. I've got Odelia on this morning. Good morning. And we've got our QA and compliance manager, Scott, on. Good morning, Scott. And our community services specialist, Melinda, is on too. Good morning, Melinda. And good morning, Janice, as well. Hey, Janice. And we've got Carly on as well, and Gary. Carly's going to give us, I think, a little bit of an update as well about our upcoming job fair up at in Yuba County, Sutter County in Yuba City. And I made you a co-host so you can share when we get to that as well. And I see Belinda on this morning. Good morning, Belinda and Christy and Ethan too. Good to see you guys, and Beverly as well. And also we have our manager here, Jordan, our specialized services and supports, and from residential BJ. And we've got Dana on. Good morning as well. And one of our client services managers on, and Alicia is on. And good morning, Rhonda's here bright and early after being out at the West Sacramento Planning Commission with me last night. And let's see, I've got Michelle Duchesne on. Good morning as
My
well.
doctor's appointment, they're gonna put me on
And
prednisone.
one second, we're gonna make sure we got everyone muted. All right. And then
How did you do
I
that?
see our cultural diversity specialist. One moment here. Who else I can mute? All right, there we go. Cultural diversity specialist Shamir is on this morning too. Good morning, Shamir. And I see Sharon is on, and Christy. Good morning too. And Rihanna is on from our QA department, and Adriana as well. And good morning, Courtney. And I see client services manager Heidi is here too. Good morning, Heidi. And my assistant Zach is on. Hello. And Kat, good to see you. Our PCS that we forced to introduce herself last week and talk so well about her role at the regional center. Thank you so much. And Sydney, we won't talk about birthdays, but good to see Sydney on here as well this week. And let's see, Hubert's on, and Elijah too. So good to see you guys on here. And I think we're going to jump over to Michael first. And I'm going to hit spotlight for everyone. And I think I'm doing the right thing when it comes to the video recording. And I'll throw it to Michael.
Yes, hi. Can you all see me? My hands? Great. I think last time I wasn't spotlighted, so I just want to make sure everyone can see me. Are you ready for Sign Week? We will have two words that you will be learning. The first one is pride. The second word is empower. And first I'll focus on pride. It's this sign with the thumb up the chest. You start with your thumb, go downward, and go up on your chest. Pride, pride. The next word is empower. So you're strong, so you go towards your muscle with the C hand shape. The fingers go downward. Empower. So I'm giving you strength to another person. So I start on myself and give it to the person. Empower. Good job, everyone. So now I want to talk a little bit about Deaf Culture 101, National Deaf Week this week in April. We want to celebrate deaf history. And why that is so important is in the past, historically, deaf people, you know, we want to see our achievements and what we fought through the years. And we want to recognize those people that have shown pride in empowering other deaf and hard of hearing in the following generations. And because of their hard work, they fought for their rights and also recognition of ASL as making sure we have access to interpreters in the workplace and so forth. So there was a lot of things that had happened in the past. Without the people before us, we probably wouldn't be able to have such access these days. So historically, people who have fought for their dream job, which helped us deaf and hard of hearing in the future to get jobs instead of fighting for them for what we wanted to do for our careers. So many deaf deaf people have become doctors, dentists, physicians, nurses, lawyers, firemen, psychologists, teachers, and the list goes on. And we're seeing more and more deaf people in the workplace in various positions. A lot of people in the past said, no, deaf can't do that. They can't communicate. They can't do those jobs. But we are proud of our history and of being deaf. And it's really important to know about the deaf history this month. There's so many things and a lot of research. You can find out a lot of information through Google and look up deaf history, like learning about ASL, how the deaf schools were set up, interpreters providing access, and various other information. So we like to recognize Deaf History Month this month, and you're welcome to look into more information online about that. Thank you so much.
Excellent job. And there was a question about learning these signs. And so in the chat, I believe, is the link to the YouTube video where you can see, and just want to encourage people, practice these. That's why we have the YouTube videos, and reference them and share them. And thank you, Michael. And thank you for making this something that is very meaningful to all of our participants as well. So much appreciated.
Great, thank you.
All right. I am now going to jump over to our events calendar because we have a lot of things kind of going on. And so I just want to share my screen real quickly, which was not working fantastically earlier. And we're going to find out how well it works today. How are we doing? Are we able to see my screen there, folks? Yep, I see Jolana's head shaking. Perfect. All right, so as per usual, you go to our regional center, you go to our website. It's really important for folks. We have 86, 90 folks on this meeting right now. And so most of you are probably relatively well connected to our regional center, but this might be one of the first times that you've attended this meeting or you got an invitation to attend this meeting from your community services specialist. It's really important that you are signed up on our website to receive updates. If you are a service provider, we use this MailChimp server that you access from the front page of our website very frequently to send out a lot of information. You as a service provider, please mark down that you are a service provider. And then that way, when we send out only service provider specific things, we make sure that you get that. There's some things that go broadly to everyone, which you might want that, those things also go to the service providers, but there's some things that we do send. And this is one of our really preferred means of doing that. So please make sure that you are signed up there to receive those types of updates. And you as specialists as well. I think most of you guys get these updates, but I think it's also good to make sure that you have everything that goes out to our service providers too. Additionally, you can go to our events calendar to get updated information. And again, if you click here, it'll bring you to that same place to sign up for your emails. you can see spotlights of information, and then you can also look at the specific calendar itself and see a number of these different activities that are going on. Autism awareness, Autism Acceptance Month, just a number of activities that I know that we are going to be out in the community supporting. So just want to make sure that folks always take time to take a look at our calendar, especially in something like a month like this, where we know that there's a lot of activities that are going on related to autism awareness. So just wanted to throw that out there real quickly as it relates to our calendar and some of the upcoming events. There's so many things that go on. We could spend the whole meeting talking about them. In there as well, if you saw me scrolling through it, we do have our upcoming vendor forums, our upcoming meetings that we have specifically with our service providers. So, for example, on there, I saw the Independent Living Services Vendor Forum is scheduled for April 16th. So that's also a great place if you're not sure if you're going to have a vendor forum, or if you're not sure if you want to submit an agenda item for an upcoming vendor forum as a service provider. The information on who you contact is on our events calendar to make it as easy as possible. Sometimes we do these vendor forums. Odelia's definitely had to deal with this. I don't know how many times where we don't have any agenda items that have been submitted by our service providers. And we want to be able to provide you with really specialized information based off of your needs. So all right, let's go to Michelle Duchesne, if we can, to give us an update on our DSP stipend.
Hi, John. Did you want me to share screen?
I do. Should I make you a co-host? So
Yes, please.
I'm used to you just logging into my account, so I don't have to worry about it. But this week we'll do it. We'll try it different. All right, there we go.
Okay. Can you go ahead? Can you see my email here, the breakdown? Yeah, okay. So last time we met, we talked about 94 days. We now are at 87 days left for the DSP stipend program for our direct source professional to take advantage of these stipend payments. So total right now, an update is 54,540 for the entire, so statewide. And we hit the 10,000 mark. We went up 6.2% from last week to 10,184 providers. We spoke with accounting today. I know I updated you last week about the payment that was going out. It actually is going to be issued this Monday. And it was about $257,000. But that's it. That's my update for this week. You're muted, John.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Michelle. Again, I can't say enough about all the work that you have, as providers, have done to get this out there. You know, we wanted to get 10,000 trainings completed, and we hit that mark. This represents over 4,300 DSPs in our local area participating in these trainings that, you know, at least registered. And I just, again, I can't say enough about the work that you have done as providers to make sure that this has happened. And so, what is it, 87 more days, so we'll hopefully get as many more as we can between now and then. But this has been an amazing performance by you all, and you know, we will keep it up for the next 3 months and see how we all end up. All right, I wanted to touch on a few different things. One is just I appreciate Jordan and certainly Michelle and Helen and Scott and others that help out when I am traveling different places, and they cover our Coffee with Community Services to make sure that we can continue to provide updated and vital information to you, because things are constantly changing as service providers. But with that, I typically am, when I'm gone, it's not necessarily that I'm on vacation, but that I'm traveling different places. So I did want to update a little bit. I did have an opportunity recently to go to a couple different conferences to do some promotion of things. And so one was a couple weeks ago, I had an opportunity to participate in the statewide conference for the California Affordable Housing Agency. And that was with housing authorities throughout the state of California, providing them information about regional centers and providing them information about the ability to develop affordable housing for people with developmental disabilities. There was over 20 housing authorities from throughout the state of California that was there, everywhere from San Diego all the way up to Alpine County, which is one of our counties, was actually there. The housing authority that oversees Alpine County, the housing authority that oversees Yolo County, we had those folks there as well. So I will say it was a great opportunity for us as regional centers. I was able to do this with the Department of Developmental Services as well. But it was a great opportunity to let those folks get some visibility within the community, because a lot of the housing authorities were just not aware of regional centers, but also not really aware of their own developmental disability population within their communities that they're responsible for developing affordable housing for. And so again, it was very important because it really promotes this type of thing statewide, not just to our catchment area where there's a lot of great work that's going on with Rhonda and a number of our local advocates that are making housing happen within our 10 counties. But we also are working to support the entire state to do more of these types of housing developments. And so just wanted to share that. I know last week we shared that our board of directors had approved 3 housing contracts for at our board meeting last week, which was for 1 project in West Sacramento and 2 projects in Sacramento. But we are also looking at trying to increase the capacity statewide for these things as well, so that, if there's people down in Lodi, if there's people down in, our outlying areas that want to develop housing, we get them connected with those regional centers too. So I just want to kind of share a little bit about that. And then I also, because we had the assistive technology pilot, I was also down at the CSU Northridge Assistive Technology, which Stevie Wonder was there. Stevie Wonder goes every year. Primarily, that's a conference that features services for the blind and different types of equipment. But there's also a lot of opportunities to look at the advances in that field and utilize it for people with developmental disabilities. And so I was able to connect with a lot of different folks that were not necessarily thinking about their assistive technology devices being used for people with developmental disabilities. And we're able to talk with them about our technology pilot that we're doing, and talk about the resource list that we are developing. And so I know I've gotten responses back from some of the folks that I met down there, and I know Rhonda's working on getting a meeting together with one of the folks that we found out was somewhat local to us. But again, that's part of the things that we're doing here at the regional center. At our board meeting, it was brought up that we pilot a lot of things at our regional center, and we do pilot a number of things out of our community services department. And this is one that, again, I think we're very proud of, because we know how hard it is for all of you to be able to hire staff and bring people on. And if we can figure out ways to promote more independence for clients and utilize assistive technology to be able to do it, smart home technology to be able to do it, we hope that it'll really relieve you and be able to ensure that our clients are really getting those supports that they really actually need, instead, and can utilize technology for, again, to promote more independence. So it was a good experience, and certainly a lot to learn, and things that we will be bringing to up in future meetings with you all as we kind of learn more about these technologies. The Department of Developmental Services in the last week or so did put out some guidance to the regional centers. I'm not really ready to share it per se here, but they did put some guidance out to the regional centers, and they shared it with our community services department about promoting assistive technology for our little ones, and like from early start on, and the utilization in that world, and how to access some of the generic resources. And so we're still working on our end and building the competencies of how to access all of the assistive technology through generic resources for the adults that we serve too. So that's just another thing that we're kind of working on and researching on our end as part of the pilot as well, to make it more opportunities for our service coordinators to offer, to planning teams in the future. So more to come about that, but I don't really update Coffee with Community Services too much about the assistive technology and some of the other things that we do. With the housing, I did mention last week that we had the 3 contracts. One of them is in West Sacramento. I don't know if anyone's from West Sacramento, or if we've got some West Sacramento folks that are in here. I know we've done the thing to put your name in the chat, but this is the Southport area of so I don't know if anyone knows where the Club Pheasant, or the old Club Pheasant Club is, right there on the corner right there. There's a fire station across the street. So if you're standing at the Club Pheasant and you look at the fire station, that lot to the right of the fire station down there in West Sacramento is where we're looking at the housing project. And that was what was approved last night when we went to the West Sacramento Planning Commission. So Rhonda and I had an opportunity to go there, and they approved the usage of the land for the affordable housing, and Alta's board approved last week to give them some gap funding. and we're looking at 19 units of housing right there. And it's right on the number 37 bus line, I believe, for YOLO bus was the bus that I saw that went right in front of it. There's retail across the street that people could shop at. And so I think it'll be the Mirasol Village is a great location. It's got a lot of going on, but it's in a little bit of a desert as far as amenities because they haven't built up that Richards Boulevard area in Sacramento that much. But this housing project has a lot of things that are right there, and there's a beautiful Lake Washington right next door. Like Lake Washington, if no, folks know what that is down in West Sac, that is going to be the boundary of the property for this affordable housing project. So it's pretty cool stuff. We were very pleased last night to see that move forward. And then Rhonda, let's see, I think you're on. Rhonda, you had a chance to go to the Sacramento Housing Redevelopment Agency. Would you be able to share real quickly about what that was?
Yeah, so we went, myself and actually Advocate Peter went to that, and we gave public comment and spoke in support of the River City project, and that's moving forward, and we'll be going to City Council for approval next week. So we will also attend that and give some public support just in case it's needed.
And it was well received, and we got approval so far.
And we got great feedback from some of the commissioners on the project and the fact that it is including housing set-asides for individuals with developmental disabilities. So they were very happy to see that.
Excellent. And what I felt was great as well was that I didn't have to be there. Was that at the same time, Michelle Johnson and I had a town hall in beautiful Esparto, California, which is certainly not in downtown Sacramento. And so I was able to spend some time out there listening to what the needs are of the edge of our catchment area in Yolo County. And hear about some of the challenges that they're facing out there with the Board of Supervisors, with Supervisor Barajas, and then Supervisor-elect Allen, as well as some of the other staff. And it was a great experience for us. I will just say, certainly received some good feedback from folks served by the regional center about their experiences working with the service coordinators. I was telling Jennifer Bloom we were 100% because the family that we had out there was certainly pleased with their experiences working with our Woodland office and with their service coordinators out of there. So shout out always to you guys that are serving folks that are in these really underserved areas like this. We had done this in West Sacramento a couple weeks ago, another town hall there as well, where we were listening to the issues and challenges that are facing folks in West Sacramento. And again, it's just very appreciated that being able to have Rhonda and also other supporters. She mentioned Peter Mendoza from State Council on Developmental Disabilities was out there as well, providing public comment in support of the project for Sacramento housing redevelopment. And so it's not easy thing to do, right, Rhonda? Getting up there and doing a public comment like that, especially if it's not something you're super familiar with, but it is an important thing for us to be representative in our community. And we're looking forward to the city council meeting that's coming up. And if anyone is interested, I think we mentioned it last time, but if anyone's interested in the city council meeting or anyone's interested in doing some focused support for our housing opportunities, please reach out to Rhonda. I will share in Sacramento County, we have the city council coming up, but additionally in both the city of Folsom and in El Dorado County, we have an opportunity coming up as well. And Rhonda will drop that in her chat there. I think what we'll do is we'll do a little bit more of a full presentation, Rhonda, next week. We'll see if maybe we get the folks from AKT possibly to maybe come have a talk here about it. But we're getting a group together to support the community for independent living that they are looking at building south of Folsom with Descapolos development, along with Lou Vismara is a big person that is pushing this development, as well as he's getting gathering support from a number of individuals as well. UC Davis being the primary supporter because they're going to have property. If you're familiar with the area of White Rock Road and where Prairie City is, the off-road area, the Aerojet land right there, like just adjacent to that, they own all that land, and that's where they're looking at putting up to 10,000 housing units. It's not really defined as well as it can be yet, because we're still just trying to get the approval to move forward right now with just developing the land with the idea of developing housing there. But if folks are interested in speaking about the need for maybe housing for people with developmental disabilities, and especially if folks are maybe residents of El Dorado County or Sacramento County, the property it goes over both areas. There's certainly going to be an opportunity. Rhonda and I are going to be doing a session with folks that are interested in doing public comment in advance with Peter Mendoza, I think, as well, if folks want to practice a little bit before the 23rd. Folsom hearing is what, in the morning or at noon, and then El Dorado is in the evening at 6:30. So again, if folks are interested, reach out to Rhonda in the chat there, and she can, or in the email in her chat, and we can give you an update on those opportunities that are going to come up. There's going to be other ones as well, certainly, but I think this, yeah. So let me see. I'll check the chat, see if there's any questions that folks have. Nope. All right, perfect. Yeah, the location for the one in West Sacramento really is ideal. And then the Mercy Housing one, the one that we have in on Stockton Boulevard, is still moving along very nicely as well. So very pleased with what we are seeing as far as the progress with the housing opportunities, and certainly looking for folks that are interested in supporting us in public comments and writing letters of support, etc. as well. All right, and if there's no more questions about that, I am going to throw it over to Scott, who is going to, I think, give us we're going to do a little introduction here. We've got some HCBS stuff going on.
Yes, sir. We continue to have good growth on our HCBS reviews. We've attained this week 37%. And so that's 193 out of a total of 521 locations that are going to be reviewed this year. Notice that final number kind of continues to change a little bit as we go through this, but that is because we are updating everybody's vendorizations. And then we've got a something special to share here. I don't know if I can share my screen. I do not have the ability to share my screen. I did send you that worksheet or that workshop. I don't know if you want to put that up. And then we've got Kate.
Sorry, you're a co-host. You're good.
Oh, okay. All right, we've got Kate here from Progressive Employment, and she has a little bit of information to share with us about an upcoming workshop being held on April 18th and 25th. Is that sharing right now? Oh, hold on. How about now?
It is, and I saw Kate on here.
Hi,
All
guys.
right. Take it away, Kate.
Yeah, so we are holding our second workshop about HCBS regulations April 18th and April 25th. Those are just two options that you can attend. You only need to attend one. The workshop is about building a more person-centered organizational structure and how it relates to HCBS regulations. So we'll be talking about person-centered thinking tools and strategies to evaluate your own organizational structure. This is funded by a grant we received from Malta, and so it's free to attend. We just ask that you register, and I can send you the Zoom link. The registration link is that QR code that you see on the screen, and I can also throw the link in the chat. I'll also put my email in there in the chat as well, so that if you have any questions, you can email me. And then after this workshop, we'll be holding free one-on-one consultations to 10 agencies. This can be a consult with us about any concerns you have about your about HCBS, or brainstorming about or organizational structure, or any questions you have. So we would like to hold those consultations. Yeah, and you can also qualify to, when you attend those consultation meetings, for a paid stipend for your team to attend, because we know that it costs money to make the time and meet with us. So yeah. look forward to seeing you guys there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kate.
Excellent.
That's all
Thank
I
you very
got,
much
John.
for that. Excellent. Thank you very much. Again, we just want to keep folks updated, so as we go through, I don't know, between now and September, keep people in the loop about how we're doing on our compliance. And then, as always, we want to support any of these HCBS initiatives that you are all doing. And so if you'd like to, we've certainly funded quite a few of them. And if there's anything that you ever want to present here, we'd love to be able to promote them through our Coffee with Community Services. All right. Jordan, you've got some things that are upcoming.
We do. So in regards to vendor forums, we have our Enhanced Behavioral Support Home and Community Crisis Home Vendor Forum. We hold that quarterly. It is going to be April 24th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here at Alta Regional Center in our Brenda Smith Conference Room. So for those of you guys that do those specialized placements, we would love to have you guys come and join us for that. I also just wanted to kind of give a friendly reminder that the Regional Center is in the middle of reviewing our requests for future proposals for the fiscal year 2023-2024 Community Resource Development Plan, right? So just to give folks a reminder, we had pitched 8 new projects this year. So we're currently reviewing the applicants for the Enhanced Behavioral Support Home. That will be for adults, individuals that we are either deflecting out of a lock setting, or we're stepping down from maybe a STAR facility or a community crisis home. We are also reviewing the applications for the residential facility for the elderly. That was the biggest application pool that we got for that project. We had the most applicants. And then we're looking at the financial management services, the psychiatrist for the psychiatric services. For that one, we are looking for somebody who can have an office. We know that telehealth is something that's very popular and can be convenient, but we definitely need an option where the clients can be served either at an office, and if maybe there's a future option for telehealth, but we definitely are looking for another, psychiatric provider for that. We didn't get, and then we're also reviewing applications for the housing access service and our enhanced supported living service. So for those applications, we're reviewing those, scoring those. Individuals with the highest scores will be requested to set up an interview. So we'll be finalizing scoring of the projects next week and looking at scheduling interviews the last 2 to 3 weeks of April. So the 2 projects that we had to repost because we didn't get any applicants for was the outpatient substance use, right? We have clients with dual diagnosis needs, right? That have developmental disabilities and may need support with substance use or recovery. And, we are, looking for a provider who can get some specialized training for individuals with developmental disability as it relates to recovery. So we've reposted that. We also reposted the out-of-home respite. This was going to be a respite center for juveniles ages 5 to 12. There was a focus based on stakeholder feedback that Russian families and Spanish-speaking families, right, are really in need of respite services. So our focus was those targeted populations. So we have extended the application time period for both the out-of-home respite and the outpatient substance use treatment to April 10th at 3 p.m. So I wasn't sharing my screen, John. I had a pretty thing I could have been sharing here. I'm not a co-host, but I will put in the chat the link to the latest RFP so that you guys have that if you need it. So I'll just put that into the chat. But anybody have any questions on the projects that we have reposted, or the projects that we're currently reviewing applications for? Okay, well, we hope more people want to apply for our 2 remaining projects, and we look forward to scheduling interviews with those of you guys who have submitted an application. Thank you, John.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm throwing it back over to Scott Barr again. One more time.
All right. Well, I just wanted to take a moment. Thank you, John, to introduce a couple of new QA specialists. So these are a couple of seasoned staff from case management that have made a move over to working with quality assurance and compliance. And they're both right now kind of doing training with HCBS. And so they're starting off doing some of those reviews and learning the rest of the processes as we go. And so if I could just take a moment and introduce Yvette Beltran and Chris Takeda Miller. And if you guys want to unmute yourselves and just take a moment and say anything, feel free.
Hello, my name is Yvette Beltran. I worked under residential for 3 years as a liaison and service coordinator, and I'm happy to be here and in my new position.
Hello, I'm Chris Takeda Miller. I was a service coordinator in the SLS unit.
Very good. And these guys are coming up to speed really quickly and helping bring us a lot of power and empowerment, I should say. Thank you, Michael. And
Tie it back to Michael. I love it.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, right on. Thanks, ladies.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. I was, as always, scanning DDS's website for things that we want to make sure that we keep folks updated about. And in doing so, I came across something that was different to me, and I wasn't aware that it was on our website or on DDS's website. So I'm going to share my screen, and I know I saw Jennifer Bloom on here as her head popped onto the there she is. And I'm searching furiously through my emails for this, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Which is that it appears that the provider directory has launched on DDS's website. So if you go to DDS's website here, they have information online provider directory project to launch spring summer 2024. So I guess, and that was the reason why I just mentioned Jennifer, because she also gets correspondence from DDS directly as a director of client services. I don't know that I got any correspondence from the department that this was
I haven't
out.
either. That's
Well,
curious.
why don't we all learn together, since it's been posted publicly for the entire world to know about, and we can talk about it with our vendors real quick, because that's the fly by the seat of our pants around here. So online provider directory project is launching apparently right now, and it's on DDS's website. We've been waiting for this information for quite some time. And they've provided a lot of information on here. They updated it on April 2nd. Again, I don't know that regional centers were made aware that this was put on here, but it includes the communication toolkit that we're supposed to use to promote so let's see what it says in it, because I figured this would be right. This is what we need. So here's what we're supposed to do to get this information out to everyone. We're supposed to send out an email to you all, and let's see, we're supposed to promote this thing. We're going to say that the toolkit is designed to aid us in communicating news about provider directory to service providers. Okay, that's cool. Toolkits focus. Materials of this awareness kit are good through June 30th. Okay. Oh, I have your awareness email that we're going to send out to you. I love that they posted all this on their website for everyone to see how we're going to implement it, or how we're planning on implementing it. So phase 1 will empower service providers to view and validate their information in the directory and to enable future phases. Okay. And then let's see, we're launching it. Its full capabilities will be released in phases. In the first phase, you are, let's see, service provider owners and designated regional center representatives will be invited to create an account and collaborate to ensure accurate provider information is in the system. Support, including on-demand training, will be available soon. All right. Service providers, get ready to validate your information in DDS's new online provider directory. Watch for news. Oh, and we've got an article that we can put in our newsletter too. Cool. All right, right on. So for those of you that have been waiting for detailed information about this, let's see what else they give us about the service provider directory. FAQs for us as a regional center. So what's the specific impact of it? In essence, the provider directory will be, what appears the first phase is going to be you all just logging in to verify who you all are. And then as we gather more information about your businesses, it's going to be validating that information. And there's certain information that you'll be validating in the provider directory that's going to come over to the regional center, and our vendor coordinators will likely have to validate that type of stuff. So we've been waiting for it. I will try to get as much information together before our provider advisory committee meeting next Thursday. I think it's next Thursday. So that we can talk about it in depth, and we can share all of these materials. We'll have some maybe printouts for people that are in the room of what DDS's expectations are. They also included service provider FAQs in there as well. So I'm going to drop all this information because it's all public and on DDS's website right into the chat. And you will be as updated as we are about at least that aspect. I glanced through this briefly. I did not see any incentive information. I know that was one of the things that people had questions about, was the extent to which this is tied to the incentives, performance incentives. And so I don't know, we will see some of the specifics when we get into it a little bit more. But just want to let folks know that that is hit DDS's website. Always a good idea to see what's on DDS's website, because sometimes they put very up-to-date information that not even the regional center is quite aware of yet. Also, just on their website, as far as looking at different opportunities of things, I believe the first master plan for developmental services meeting is starting next week. And so just wanted to throw that out there for folks that might be interested in learning more about that. They're going to start their stakeholder meetings coming up very shortly. So you can get information about the master plan for developmental services as well on DDS's website. So again, they've kind of reorganized it a little bit. You can still get their calendar up here. So if you go up to their calendar, you can see what is coming up. So maybe if people attend the Quality Incentive Work Group on April 11th, they'll find out the extent to which the provider directory is or is not going to be part of that. So anyways, just want to give folks a little updates on where they can get information from DDS's website. And then that was a piece of information we've been waiting for quite some time, is when we're going to get what's going to happen with the statewide provider directory. And again, right now, it looks like your activities for the springtime are going to be logging in when DDS gets around to sending out the invitations to everyone. As a service provider, has anyone received an email yet from DDS about this? Has any providers received any email asking DDS to verify their information? I'm hoping you haven't yet, but no? Loud silence. All right, cool. So thank goodness no one has at least been reached out to yet about this before we heard about it as regional centers. But now we know a little bit more information in there. All right, and then let's see. I think we have some residential providers on here, but 6beds.org. Do we have any 6beds.org folks that are here? If you want to drop in the chat, say I am part of 6beds.org. That would be cool, because I'm just kind of curious if any folks from that group actually also attend this meeting as well. And let's see if they do. No, doesn't look like it so far. So 6beds.org. We actually, some of you may remember, we filmed a kind of a video for them a year or two ago at Coffee with Community Services for one of their annual meetings. They're one of they're the only one that I know of, large service provider group that specializes in residential care providers. And so I was just going to drop their link in, because as I usually do, I am speaking at their annual conference that is coming up. This is their let's see, it's their 10th annual advocacy day. It's a virtual via Zoom, and I'll drop it in the chat if folks would like it. And but again, it's a group. If you are a residential provider, you're interested in RCFEs, residential care facilities for the elderly. We're supposed to be mindful of our acronyms. We don't do a very good job around that here, but RCFEs, adult residential facilities, it's for folks that are interested and are those types of providers. So they'll have folks from DDS, from community care licensing, and myself and others that will be speaking if folks are interested. And that is on the 23rd, when everything else in the world is also going on, Carly. So I'm going to throw it over to Carly, who can let us know what else is going on April 23rd.
Thanks, John. Yeah, let me pull up my flyer to share. Is everyone seeing my screen? Yes, okay. So on the 23rd, we are having our next Disability Industry Career Expo, or DICE, job fair. This one will be held out in Yuba City at the Sutter One Stop and their Boyd Hall event space. They've been a wonderful partner. They have gotten us a lot of job seeker registrations. They have several classes going on at the same time, and they're going to be ushering a lot of the people that they support right on over. to the job fair. We have about 20 tables that are going to be there, and that it also we will also have a table for the DSP stipend, so we can share with the job seekers just that extra opportunity to get some extra pocket money if they get hired on by one of our vendors. It will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We still have a few tables available, some space if you have not registered yet and would like to attend. You can either scan it, this QR code, or register, click this link here. I will post this in the chat, or you can find this at our dspcollaborative.org.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And then we also have, just as an announcement, just because I think it's nice for people to know what's upcoming. We also have another event coming up at Sierra College. Can you just share briefly again what that event's coming up, the LPA Summit?
Yeah, so we have an LPA Summit at Sierra College on April 19th. So for those of you who are not aware of what the LPAs are, those are local partnership agreements. They were created by the CIE Blueprint. They consist of us, Department of Rehabilitation, local education agencies, and then sometimes other community partners such as Sacramento Employment Training Agency. So they're just they're places that we can get together, collaborate, share ideas, do cross-training so we can learn more about each agency, what each of us does. There's about 4 or 5 of them that meet. We have one up in the Gold Country. I always want to say Gold County. It's Gold Country. So South Lake Tahoe area. One in the Auburn, Roseville area, Grass Valley. We have a Greater Sacramento Valley, and then we have Yolo County, and Yuba Sutter. So we've always met just separately, all of these LPAs. So this is the first time that we are bringing them all together to get everyone in the room. We're also inviting a lot of non-LPA people to attend just to get some more perspectives, more collaboration going. So we really are just wanting to do a lot of idea sharing and learning about each different agency, what they do, where does each agency come in, how can we better streamline the process to get our clients CIE. So that is on April 19th. And I think right now we are registration closed on the 29th, and we have, I think, 50 people attending.
Some of you are very familiar with the regional center's priority that we put towards CIE. It's one of our executive directors stated huge priorities. And then it's also been one of our strategic plan focus areas as well. If you work around social services in general, you see things come and go. You see good pilot programs, you see things that happen and then they are great ideas and then they just go away because they're time limited and everything else. As it relates to the CIE Blueprint and as it relates to the LPAs, I participated in our statewide, the Association of Regional Center Agencies statewide employment committee. And that was a big discussion, was okay, the blueprint's ending and these LPAs, how do we keep momentum going? How do we not just have another program that seemed like a good idea and we did it for a while and then it just kind of fades away afterwards? And so Carly and I have so many meetings with Sierra College. And so as we were looking at these different opportunities with Sierra College to be able to show our partnership and also the leadership of Sierra College, that was one of the things that we were able to look at proposing to them that they were happy to host there. And again, it speaks to trying to maintain the momentum that we get from some of, we put money and activity into these things, and again they just kind of die off. And so I'm hoping that through all of Carly's hard work and these partnerships and again having the support of an institution like Sierra College for some of these different things is very helpful. We've got it going on the housing things in Placer County because Sierra College is really wanting to support affordable housing development there. So I haven't talked with you all as service providers that much about it, but that is another thing that's kind of going on with Sierra College as well. But I appreciate the work, Carly. These are not things that are required of regional centers to try to like keep these things as maintained, but I feel like it's really a great opportunity for people to share ideas about best ways to support our clients to get into that competitive integrated employment. People from here that might want to participate in that, Carly, can reach out to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was talking to Jennifer Bloom a little bit earlier on here, but she's going to be our MC, I believe, keeping the fun moving. I'll be there briefly in the beginning as well. And just again, appreciate Carly, your leadership, and appreciate our partnership with Sierra College that we can support another activity like this over there. All right. Let's see. I know I saw Tracy Brown on and Faye on a little bit earlier. I don't know if case management has anything else that is huge and pressing that we want to touch on today. I see a shaking head. So with that being said, I believe we hit our agenda items. Michelle and Jordan and Scott, did we get what we needed out of there? Oh, I can't forget the Provider Advisory Committee plug right there is in the chat. And then one of the things that we created is, so some of you guys that work in our office actually may have seen the charts and things like that that are outside of my door. But one of the charts that we came up with was our vendorizations over the last 5 years that we've done as a regional center, and also where we are year to date for vendorizations. And so that's one of those things that we'll be talking about sharing with our Provider Advisory Committee, maybe on like a quarterly basis. So you also, as our service providers, you'll see it in our newsletter because we'll start putting it regularly in our newsletter quarterly too. But I think it's a good idea for you all to be aware of the work that all of the specialists are doing, because we've got so many applicants. I can't tell you the just crush of applicants that we have that want to get vendored with us. And we know that other regional centers don't have the same type of applicants that we are getting. And that for us, you know, we want to take advantage of that and vendor as many of you, because we know we've got service deficits across so many different service codes that we have. So as much as like I worry about the 10 new residential care home applications that Michelle Duchesne is going to try to figure out how to assign, it makes me feel really good for like Christina Lane when I saw her on here, and it makes me feel really good for BJ and others that really are, and then all of our other managers and all the planning teams that are looking for these types of options. Because when we have more vendors, we can offer choice. It's really tough for us to do our charge, which is to give people choices of service providers when we're so resource deficient across so many different areas. So I think accountability wise, it's also nice for you to know what we're doing like with this. And so I think that'll be something that you can expect from us, and we'll be sharing that at the Provider Advisory Committee as well. I think we're going to have Michael at the Provider Advisory Committee, if I believe so too. I think that's one of the things that we are looking at coming up as well. So we will let's see, Lindsay, I don't think you've had anything else about that. I see it in the chat there. So with there's not anything else, then we will look forward to talking to everyone next week, and hopefully we'll see a number of you in person for the Provider Advisory Committee. All right. Take care, folks. Thank you very much to our interpreters too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.